the main questions why I like wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
Um, so on YouTube, there's a lot of people doing semen retention. And by the way, that's just want to mention again, I really appreciate your perspective because I click with it probably the most. It's like other people talk about it and there's just something off and I don't can't articulate what it is, but like for example, like one guy a lot of guys they talk about women and they say just forget that. Just forget just forget women and
Yeah.
it left me for a long time feeling like what's wrong with me because I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
Yeah.
It left me feeling like something was like wrong. And yeah, they just act like it's this easy thing to just like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's something that you really go into is like this is like deep. This is deep.
Yeah, it's like telling you, like, forget about instinct to survive or something. Just walk out in the street, and don't worry if the car's coming. Like it's the second strongest instinct, the sexual instinct. So it's like, yeah, like it's like, do you understand what instinct is? Like instinct is deep. It's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so sexual instinct is very deep. So yeah, anybody that says that they just haven't transcended it themselves. You can't. You can't. I mean, how you just can't talk like that if you have really went through the process. What probably happens? They get a streak going, and they're really busy in life. They're not thinking about it, and so then it can give a false appearance. Like all you got to do is just like not do it. But at some point, they're going to have more downtime, or life is going to hit, or they're going to the sex energy is going to activate, and then they're going to find like, oh man, like I can't do actually what I kept preaching, Yeah, like, I've been through that too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, kind of following along with that thought is uh there's a lot of talk about I see both ways. I see retain for as long as you want, retain for years.
Yeah.
Then there's the opposite, like you really shouldn't retain over 30 days, over 60 days. So I guess my I just want a little bit of like conversation about that because my feeling on it is that sometimes I feel like my energy gets blocked and it is like too much and it kind of like overloads the system and it has like a reverse effect of energy. Like I just don't want to do anything or not quite a flat line. It's just like it's just like too much. But then I also have this other feeling that like this spiritual energy is carrying me through. It's showing me things that I probably wouldn't see if I only had 30, 60, even 90 days. It's like bringing me through the shit. Kind of. It's funny because I feel like I'm kind of answering my own question, but
that's what happens. Yeah, that's cool. No, that's the benefit too. Is when we have a certain, you can say, sacred space like this where there's the intention is high level communication and with the openness to have a realization. Then it's actually you can answer your own questions. The thing that you said when like the energy get too strong, and then it can. You can also say like it can make it used to make me crazy. Like it was I wasn't sublimating it. It just kept going down and causing pressure, and then the mind would take this restlessness and then start projecting sexual fantasies and lusting and edging and all that. And so it got to where like I would just have to release to take the edge off, It's like a pressure cooker, man. It just keep, So if one gets to that point, you don't even need somebody to tell you to do it. Like you're going to do it, So yeah, that's the evolutionary process part. And that's why I try to tell people, because they say, well, yeah, should I release every 2 weeks, every 30 days, every whatever? Because these people say that. I say, look, but don't listen to what the people say. Like, this is the most important thing. And then they also ask me, like, will I lose benefits? See, you got to go through this, and then you have to answer those questions. You have to see, like, I played with that. Like, okay, I'm just going to release every month. Okay, that's cool. But then you get to where you're like, okay, 30 days is coming up. And then it's like, okay, well, it's time to release. But then your inner sanction may be like, well, I don't want to, though. Why would I do that? Like, I'm feeling good now. Why am I going to release? So then you keep going. That's how the evolution happens. It happens by itself. The mind wants to try to figure something out and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to have this timetable, and then I'm going to stick to it. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, you keep listening to this because you're already aware of it. You've shared it, and you're aware that you're aware of it. So this inner guidance, spiritual energy, whatever. So that's your saving grace. This is the most important thing. Yeah, and that's what I talk about on my spiritual channel. Is just to keep trying to be in that, because that's the highest. That's the only thing that's really going to save you in the end. Like, yeah.